So you've got the hang of flying the foil, cruising around under a nice bit of control. And the next step, of course, for everyone is, how do I stay on the foil throughout the whole jibe? That's what I'm going to be running through in the next few minutes. How to maintain flight, maintain lift throughout a jibe. So you're joining me here today on a relatively windy morning out in Greece. I think if I was on a normal kit, normal windsurfing on a fin, I'd be quite happy on a 6.5, 7 metre sail right now. I've downsized to something quite big actually. I'm on a 5.7 right now, fairly powered up. And I'm going to go through how to stay on the foil throughout your jibes. Before we get to the actual jibe, just a quick reminder of the basic logic we've got to remember for foiling, because this applies throughout the jibe as well. The further back I have my weight, the more lift is created, the more I'll stay up. The further forward I bring my weight, like that, the board comes back down. We need to remember that logic as we're coming through a jibe, so that we can maintain height and lift to the right amount throughout the turn. So let's break the foiling jibe into different stages. The first one to get nice and correct is bearing away and being comfortably heading downwind on the foil still. Tricks to doing that: unhook, make sure you have a lot of space. We've done all this upwind. My back foot has come out while still heading upwind. Regain control, regain what's going on. Chances are taking your back foot out and moving it has created all kinds of, let's say, turbulence or roller coaster sort of feel in the board, and you're up and down. Bear away with tiny little creepy back footsteps into the middle of the board. We're not trying to carve the board, not yet. We're just getting used to bearing away. Right now I'm broad reach and I've slowed down. Haven't yet put my backhand a long way down the boom. I'm not dropping super low like a normal carve jibe. I'm just getting used to feeling what happens to the foil as I bear away. And on this kit, right now, on the power I've got, I need my weight a long way back to stay on the foil. You may find that when you bear away, actually, it's giving you far too much lift and you have to move your creepy back foot further forwards. If I do that now, yep, instantly I touch down. So get used to riding on a broad reach, feeling where your back foot needs to be before we then start thinking about what's about to happen next. Now, before you go off flying downwind and into the jibes, yeah, I definitely suggest doing a few runs. Hard upwind, hard downwind. Just to really get the feeling of what happens as you move that back foot around the board, how the board takes off or how it comes back down. Because it's one thing doing it in a straight line, but the next thing we're going to have to do is make a foot change, opening the rig at the same time, while still trying to control the height of the foil. If we're already struggling to control the height and I'm not used to where I'm standing, the next bit's going to be very difficult to do. The next bit then. Now the foiling jibe rig work is very similar to a non-planing carve jibe. We need to keep the mast moving throughout the jibe. Opening the rig, towards the outside of the turn, opening the sail in front of us, and then bringing the sail towards the outside of the turn is the way we keep the board moving throughout the arc. It's not a quick movement, it's not a heavy carve or a throw of the rig, it's all very slow and steady. Open the rig up towards the outside, slow and steady. Getting used to being under control throughout the jibe. One of the big differences for the foil jibe is the footwork. We've already said we need to be in the right position with our feet to get the foil to stay high, the board to stay high on the foil. We never want to be up on the foil without our front foot in the strap. So as you come around the foot change, midway on the jibe, your new front foot is going to go instantly into that front foot strap. Chances are your back foot will need some shuffling, some adjustments, some more of that creepy back footwork to find the sweet spot to keep the board up. And that's part of this. That's part of the small adjustments that need to be made throughout the foiling jibe to keep the thing flying. It's not just to stand in one position and hope you stay around. Lots of adjustments consistently throughout will take the board higher or lower, or too high, or possibly too low. Finally, the exit part, when you finally grabbed onto the sail on the new side, there's no rush to crank on the power. The lift in the foil, as you can see now, is not created through tons of power, it's created through where I stand on the board and how I'm pushing through my front or my back foot. So when you do grab the new side of the boom, don't just crank in for tons of power. Take your time, wait for it, then some power later on. The same core skills as you've used in your normal jibes, hopefully adding in a little bit of the disco rig flip. Make sure you watch another video I've done on that one, which is the rig flip. It's exactly the same on the foil. Very neutral position on top of the board that we're carving in. I'm not full commitment on the inside, stamping on a rail. If I do that, the foil is going to drop out the water fairly quickly. If I stay neutral on top of the board and then start to control how much lift or otherwise I'm trying to get.